Hi everyone, welcome to the 2020 Lancia Delta Racing Series. So we're just about to kick off qualifying after spending the last 2 weeks changing the gearbox, bearings and seals, and fixing that big oil leak that we had when we were testing here a few weeks ago. So we've got a few competitors with us today, including that 4C engine Mito. Oh, hello John. And Barry's over there in his 156. We've got Vincent DeBars with us as well, his 156. I think Graham Seeger's here with his GTV. I think it's called a GTV. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. So we're hoping to do quite well. Hopefully we can match the time that we did when we were here testing a few weeks ago, and I'll insert some footage of qualifying. Hopefully we do reasonably well and match the times that we're doing in practice. So John, clutch. Here's the clutch. This is the clutch bar. Yeah. This is the clutch.
Slip cylinder, yeah.
So we got clutch slip, as you can see on the video. Yeah.
Yeah, massive clutch slip, which we suspect that the pressure plate that's been supplied to us is not strong enough, because you can feel on the pressure plate that it feels lighter as well. Clamping doesn't feel just as good as it was before. We thought it was just because it's a new clutch.
And there's no pressure. It's not.
Yeah, so it's
not pushing it out or anything.
No, so it's not as if we haven't anything wrong mechanically.
No oil.
No, we've cured. Oh, God forbid.
Yeah.
There's no oil from underneath the car, which is awesome.
Yeah, no oil, and you can see
an extra hole.
We drilled an extra hole to see if we could see anything. There's nothing. It all looks perfectly normal.
All looks absolutely hunky-dory.
So what we're going to do is start the race.
Yeah.
With a slippy clutch. Yeah. And jump around, going as quick as you can, but it won't be anywhere near time. And just finish, get the points.
Get the points, because obviously we get this fixed and then straight back out for the next round. So we haven't got time to lose points. So we're here to see everyone as we get the best we can out of what we got.
Yep.
And then we already spoke to Ben. Ben's already trying to find out what's gone wrong. As soon as we know it'll be out, and we'll have another one straight in it, and we'll go and try it out somewhere.
The
joys of racing to test properly. But COVID doesn't allow us to have the time and energy the time and stuff to be able to do all these things, so we have to kind of test sometimes when we're at the racing, which is not the same. But we'll do our best.
Top Racing, and very welcome they are within the Alfa Romeo Championship. As not guess they do score points, it's quite no alphas there indeed. So we've had about 7 minutes or so of this race now. I've got black and white driving standards flag going out to somebody. We'll try and work out who that is in just a moment. The board is out there, but we can't see the number on it at the moment.
Richard Thurbin not making the progress that he would have hoped in the Lancia, is he? Made it into the top 10, 1 minute 26, so his pace could put him back towards the top 5, so perhaps he's getting quicker as he gets that car back up to speed, and he's right behind the McPhees as they turn their way into Wilson. They hop the inside rear tyre off the ground as the car goes hard right through the right hand, and now you see the power of the Lancia that will accelerate alongside the two Pintos.
Great sight, isn't it, as well in that particular livery. This was originally though a 1990 road car, and it was imported from Italy back in 2001. This Lancia was taken off the road in 2015 because of, guess what, rust that typically afflicted the Lancia. Was rebuilt by John Shields, who used to be involved with the BTCC Alpha team, of course, in the past, and which has been racing for the last 2 or 3 years in a variety of different categories. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
It's not got past the Pintos though, so I'd suggest it's not running as they would like, but it's running, so that's more of an improvement over qualified, I think. Qualified the slowest car of anybody.
Yeah, and it was a winner here last year, as I say, so fortunes fluctuating somewhat.
Across the line they come to complete the 6th lap of this race. Barry McMahon now half a minute ahead of the race. He's not going to be far away from lapping the field, I don't think, Ian. Here comes the Lancia again. Thurbin trying to come up the inside of Simon McPhee, gets him, and he looks to the inside of Chris McPhee, but he can't quite do that. Of course, that car, working forward drive, is very good off the corners, but today the acceleration at the end of the straights in isn't what he'd like it to be.
Certainly not. No, not quite where it should be. Quick rundown on the order, because we're about halfway through this race. It's being led by number 57 Barry McMahon, from number 5 Graham Seeger, 55 Scott Austin to the 3rd place, 1 Tom Hill, ninth, number 90, Richard Thurbin, and 10th, number 21, Simon McPhee, but those are chopping and changing all the time.
Yeah, Thurbin's dropped now behind George Osborne too, so this lap particularly not going so well. George Osborne in the Alfa Romeo 75, they're going ahead of Thurbin, so Thurbin, he was looking to get 8th at the beginning of the lap, has now dropped back to 11th. There's the Alfa Romeo 75, it's George Osborne working his way now up towards Coram Curve, and then they're just ahead of that car with wrongly showing transponder. We think that's Andrew Bork, who could be in the twin spark.
Yeah, and I think he was leading it. We did see him in that circuit a little bit earlier on.
It's a long way ahead of the others, 20 seconds. Jeff Well in 2nd, James Ford 3rd, and Simon Cresswell in 4th position. Now George Osborne's going to try and get past Simon McPhee on the way up towards Ritchie. You see the sight there of that car that we were talking about, the Andrew Bork car. Meanwhile, Osborne didn't get through past McPhee, and now he's under pressure from Richard Thurbin. He's recovering again. Down towards Wilson.
Yeah, he is, and he's just attacking that 75 of George Osborne, and outright wins at Plantagenet Silverstone in 2019 in the number 34 car.
Now he's going to re-challenge Simon McPhee again. See if he can make it work this time. With a bit more power. Richard Thurbin trying to do similar. George Osborne is in the same class as the Fiats. Thurbin in the modified class, so they're all power trophy cars around them. And Simon McPhee loses out because he loses 2 positions. Across the line. This is the battle for what is, I think, 8th position. Chris McPhee in the Punto loses out to the more powerful cars around him. The Alfa Romeo 75 had Richard Thurbin go right round the outside. And Thurbin's passed them all now in a lap. So where, a lap or two ago, the car was struggling, it's come back on again.
He's found the on switcher by the looks of it, hasn't he? Because that's a sudden dramatic change in performance. Jordan Osborne making his way ahead of those Fiats.
A couple of seconds away, but he's about to lap that car he battled with here just a year ago in the Richard Thurbin Lancia.
Yeah, okay, so Richard Thurbin, who won the second race here last year, I believe. And there is the black and orange flag, and I think that must be James Ford as we possibly for the number 23 car with bits dangling and trailing behind it, rather dangerous, and will need to be attended to. So there's Barry McMahon, who is completing
cars, so I suspect we continue in that direction and get past Andy Inman for 7th very shortly.
Yeah, Andy Inman in the Revs Alpha prepared car, a long-standing competitor in the Alfa Romeo Championship.
He's already lost that place to Thurbin, who was a couple of seconds behind at the line, so the Lancia are really going strong now.
It certainly seems that way. Now there is... well, there's 6, which is first of all, and he's just behind. That is the James Ford car that was trailing something, wasn't it? Which doesn't now appear to be. So whether that's just dropped off, we're not quite sure. Looks like there's a wheel mark down the door of number 6 Simon Creswell, doesn't there? Which suggests that there might have been contact at some point along his way during the course of this race in the Bianco prepared machine.
It's pretty dramatic, that twin spark category there. Half a minute behind Andrew Hawks, but I presume Borg's still in that category. He's a long way ahead of the rest as they make their way down the Bentley Straight, being led in this battle by Geffen Llewellyn, just being lapped by the second place overall, Graham Seeger. Then you should say James Ford there in 23 behind. But that's been a race-long battle between this group of cars, a really good battling within the twin spark category.
3/4 of the way through this race now, 20 minutes race, 15 minutes have already gone by. Getting towards the end of the first of 2 races today for these cars. Double header to start the season. We've got a triple header at Anglesey in a couple of months' time, as we mentioned. So there's Geffen Llewellyn, with just behind him James Ford, just behind him Simon Creswell. And head out of Murray's and onto the start-finish straight once again. And that is probably the black and orange flag for the car that we've just seen, James Ford. A bit now, I think the reason Ford is probably gone, but if it's still being shown, he does still need to call to the pits.
There he is, turning into Richard. They're all being closed in on by Richard Ford, car number 9, so that's going to be a 4-car battle. They make their way down to the Wilson hairpin for these cars on their 11th lap of the race. They keep tight up over the curve, and they're soon to be lapped by the 3rd place car of Scott Austin. In 4th and 5th place here, Tom Hill has got Vincent Dubois all over the back of him, but they're in different classes. And Tom Hill's still got a decent lead in the Power Trophy over Dave Messenger. Meanwhile, the 2 Pintos are still battling away.
They have been all race long, haven't they? Chris McPhee ahead of Simon McPhee at the moment. They are going to complete their 10th lap now, I think. Yes, they are. And so, even possibly 11 laps now, but. Almost side by side into Ridge's corner. Great fight going on in the Southgate Racing entered and tended cars. Down towards the Wilson hairpin they go. Simon trying to outbrake Chris as they go round Wilson. He was on the outside line though and he couldn't do anything about that. Really evenly matched, and it would have been great probably back in the day, not that many years ago, to see a full grid of these cars racing around Mondello.
Simon he lost a bit of speed on the exit of the corner, so that might let Chris break away a bit. I'm sure they'll be back together in no time at all as they make their way down here into Brundle. Actually, I think they're already back together again. So, not sure if these two cars have ever seen a party in their history of their racing life.
Certainly not been out of the same shot in this race, have they? So it's been pretty close between them, and they are competing for the final place in the top 10 overall as well. So there is a certain amount of pride to be won here.
Vincent Dubois has got 4th now, by the way, ahead of Tom Hill.
As you said, though, there he is. He's in a different class. He's a class above. He's in the modified class, and Tom Hill in the power trophies. Tom still looking good in that, about 7 or 8 seconds clear of Dave Messenger.
Dubois has been lapping quicker than Scott Austin ahead. Possibly Austin was getting past that twin spark battle that may have been the reason for the slower lap. But we'll see if we've only a couple or 3 laps to go if Dubois can do anything about that 7-second gap to Scott Austin. So the twin spark guys have all split up now, haven't they? It looks like that pit stop's been made by James Ford, so that's dropped him away, and it's allowed Llewellyn to get away from Richard Ford, who's got ahead now, has he, of Simon Cresswell?
Yeah, there's James Ford taking out of the pit lane. I'm not sure there wasn't anything to sort out in the end, but anyway, he's been released by the scrutineers back into the race, but that'll be a frustration for him because it will effectively put him pretty much towards the back of the field now. We've had those couple of retirements, Jonathan Tortoloni and Riccardo Lacelli.
Looking side by side here.
Fancy that, and they were trying to do it all the way around Brundle there, weren't they? But no, didn't quite work. So it's still 22, which is Chris, ahead of 21, which is Simon. Great scrap that they are having, but Barry McMahon now working his final lap of the race, because he's less than a minute away from the timed element of this race coming to an end. When he crossed the line last time, these guys will have at least one more lap to enjoy their fantastic battle before the end. Heading out of where he's now along the start and finish straight we go.
Great to see a number of viewers down there at Murray's Inn with MSB now allowing visitors to watch race meetings. It's great to see a number of people here today at Snetterton enjoying the 750 Motor Club action.
So Barry McMahon well on his way towards the line. There he is. He's just making his way towards Corn at this point, isn't he? Bomb hole towards Corn he will go. Barry McMahon in the white and green Alfa 156 Turbo. Good strap going on just behind him. There's Gethin Llewellyn, who's been lapped again by the race leader. Barry McMahon probably lapping well within himself. He's done a best lap of 1:19.88. He's not threatened the A.D. Hawkins lap record of 1:19.593, but he's out of the final corner. It's up to the line. Checkered flag is made ready. Checkered flag goes out now, and Barry McMahon wins round 1 of the 2020 Alfa Romeo Championship.
Just behind him on the road was that second place battle within the twin spark category that went to Gethin Llewellyn, ahead of Richard Ford, Simon Cresswell, Steve O'Brien amongst that battle too, which is a race long scrap.
Well, we had a reasonable go in race 1. It dreadful start off the line, lots of clutch slip, but kind of tried to modulate the throttle better and better as the race went on, and we ended up doing quite well actually. Did a best lap at 1:24.8, which is just over 2 seconds slower than we were doing in practice. Took me a while to get that lap time though. So I ended up finishing 7th overall, but at that time it suggests I could have got up to 5th. So yeah, second race more of the same really, but less clutch slip, and try and get as further forward as we can really quick. Got most of the action from the video, but I think some of it was missing towards the end, but I was sort of on my own at that point, so it wasn't very exciting. But I'll put in some well, you saw some shots from the live cameras that were at the circuit anyway, so yeah, hopefully race 2 will go a bit better. Cheers.
And the two punchos have been separated. Drama.
Oh my word. I mean, Richard Thurbin here has not read the script, has he? He has got himself between the two of them. That is not how it worked in this Alfa Romeo Championship. Anyway, here's George Osborne with the 55-year-old Scott Austin right behind him. And Austin, as you say, is... Cresswell this time, he's not sort of got away as quickly as he did in the earlier race today.
Cresswell much further up than he was in the previous race on the others. He's got 3 seconds ahead, so Cresswell's made a much better start. Interesting to see if he can go with Andrew Bork in race 2. There's Scott Austin, so he's got ahead now and getting away from that gaggle behind. Richard Thurbin is now back ahead of Simon McPhee, so the two puntos can get right back together again. Thurbin 8th there.
11, and he is right behind George Osborne and seems to be having a stronger race again, Josh.
Lancia seems to get better as the race goes on as well, for whatever reason. Thurbin looking to the inside of the Alfa that locks up. The 34 car, George Osborne, the 75. Alfa 75 would that be the oldest car on the grid, I think?
Probably would be, I would think.
Well, I guess the Lancia's...
we know that's a 1990 road car for Italy.
is going through on the inside here. The Lancia on the Alfa. Number 90, Richard Thurbin goes through. It's ahead of the Alfa 75 of George Osborne. And he shall set off after the Power Trophy leaders, Tom Hill and Dave Messenger. Now about 6 seconds behind Messenger at the end of the lap. You can just about see him there in the distance. Meanwhile, Gavin Seeger continues to lead, but Scott Austin going after Riccardo Lasselli now for second place. And they cross the line side by side for second position, going off down towards Ritchie. So Scott Austin, I will get him on.
by something because Andrew Bolt won the class. Well, he will do if he gets the car home on the final lap.
Yeah, well, here we are at the end of race 2. So I started at the back again, made really good progress, and then you sort of lose track of time. You just bang in the lap time and hope for the best, and we ended up 3rd overall, which an awesome result. 3rd in class, 3rd overall. It's really good from being after qualifying, not thinking we'd be able to start. So yeah, awesome. We need to fix this clutch gearbox issue once and for all, so we get another 2 seasons out of 1. So we're not worrying about that, and then I can start using more about 20% throttle and start challenging the front. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you in a month.